The shooting started without warning. No declaration, no announcement. Just muzzle flashes tearing through the dark, radios screaming half-formed orders, and soldiers diving for cover in a place they officially weren't supposed to be. Later, the incident would be described as a misunderstanding, a clash, an isolated event. But for the men pinned down behind concrete and dust, it felt like war. And the unsettling part wasn't the gunfire, it was knowing that if any of them died, their government would deny they were ever there. Modern wars don't always begin with speeches or flags. Sometimes they begin with night raids that don't exist on any map. Soldiers are flown in quietly, stripped of unit markings, told they're supporting allies or conducting training. Then the mission changes. Doors are kicked in, shots are fired, targets resist. Suddenly it's no longer advisory, it's combat. Veterans describe clearing buildings under fire, returning rounds toward muzzle flashes they couldn't see clearly, dragging wounded teammates into shadows while aircraft circled overhead but never officially arrived. In several conflicts, soldiers recount firefights that were later erased with language. Engagements became security incidents. Casualties became contractor losses. Entire operations were folded into silence. One former soldier described being ordered to fire on a position, then being told afterward that the exchange must never be acknowledged. No after-action report, no official confirmation, just the memory of recoil, smoke, and the sound of rounds cracking past his head in a place his country insisted it wasn't fighting. These were not chaotic shootouts. They were disciplined, planned, and fast. Units moved with precision. Targets were hit. Areas were cleared. Then, everyone disappeared. Sometimes the same soldiers would be sent back weeks later, fighting in the same villages under different justifications. In one account, a team was told to suppress enemy fire while Allied forces advanced. When the operation ended, the official story claimed no foreign troops had engaged in combat. The bullet casings on the ground told a different story. What makes these actions harder to track is how deliberately they are compartmentalized. Soldiers are briefed only on what they need to know. Orders come through unofficial channels. Some units report being instructed to disable recording devices before raids. Others recall strict warnings about what could be written home. Not because the mission failed, but because acknowledging it would raise questions no one wanted asked. Who authorized the shooting? Under what rules? And why was it happening at all? There are moments in these accounts that sound unmistakably like war. Ambushes, counterfire, close calls where soldiers return fire while pinned down in alleys or hillsides. Helicopters landing under threat, extracting teams while tracers lit the ground below. Yet none of this appears in official war histories. The actions exist only in fragmented testimonies, leaked documents, and the bodies and memories of the people involved. The political advantage is clear. Wars without names don't require approval. Shootings without acknowledgement don't trigger oversight. If something goes wrong, it can be framed as an accident or blamed on someone else. But for the soldiers pulling the trigger, that abstraction disappears. They still feel the weight of every round fired, every decision made in seconds. Except afterward, there is no place to put it. No ceremony, no recognition, just silence. Many veterans describe the same strange aftermath, returning home to normal life while carrying images of firefights that officially never happened. Trying to explain scars or trauma without being able to explain where they came from. Some are told directly that speaking about what they did could bring consequences. Others don't need to be told, they already understand. The war may be over for them, but it was never allowed to exist in the first place. So, were these soldiers fighting a war? By any practical definition, yes. Shots were fired, people were killed, objectives were pursued through force. But because no one called it war, it slips through history unnoticed. and that should be uncomfortable. Because if modern wars can be fought shot by shot without acknowledgement, then the line between peace and conflict is no longer clear. It's just quiet. Until the next firefight breaks out somewhere the world insists isn't happening.